Hey, how's it going everyone? MLT Magic Tricks here. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you a performance and a tutorial for two really great no setup card tricks that I definitely think you should add to your routine. But before we get into it, if you are new here to the channel, make sure you subscribe with those notifications on for more card trick videos like this. If you enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button. Now let's get right into the first trick. Alright, so this trick involves a rubber band. We're going to keep this off to the side, and to start, I would have my spectator give the deck a shuffle. Once they are done mixing up the cards, I would have them make a selection. So let's say they choose this card. Now for the trick, I would just have them look at it. Once they have memorized their selection, I would tell them we're going to begin by getting this card lost somewhere into the middle of the deck. So go ahead and give the cards some cuts. I'll give the pack a quick riffle shuffle, and just for good measure to really lose the card into the deck, I'll give the pack some overhand shuffles as well. Now, at this point, I'm going to need some help in finding the card, and that is where the rubber band comes into play. So I'm going to take the rubber band here, and I'm simply going to wrap it around the entire deck of cards like this. Now I'm going to cut around half of the pack. I'm going to turn these cards face up, and I'm going to bring them right to the bottom. So we have the deck of cards squared up here, and all I have to do is drop the deck right there on the table, and you will notice I catch one card in my hand, and the card I caught should be the spectator selection, the 9 of spades. So guys, that is the trick. If you want to learn how to do it, make sure you watch the tutorial. Alright, so I hope you guys liked that one. This is a super awesome effect that is quite easy to perform, so let's get right into the tutorial. All you're going to need is a deck of cards and a rubber band. Make sure the rubber band is not too loose, and the length of it should be roughly the height of the deck, just like this. Once you have got your rubber band, you can just keep it off to the side to start, and then you can begin the performance with your spectator giving the deck a shuffle. Once they are done mixing up the cards, you're going to have them choose one. They do have a completely free selection. Once they take out the card, you can just have them look at it, but for the tutorial, we'll look at it together. So in this case, we have the Jack of Hearts. Now you're ultimately going to get your spectator's card to the bottom of the deck. You guys can do that any way you want to. What I did in the performance was I first controlled it to the top. So you can just do a double undercut here. I'll leave a link on the screen right now to me giving some more in-depth tutorials on card controls if you want to learn some. But for the double undercut, you're just pushing down on the card and inwards at the same time, getting this natural thumb break, and then cutting all of these cards from the break here right to the top. Now you've just got their card to the top of the deck. And to bring it to the bottom is quite simple. You can just slide off the card like this and then overhand shuffle the rest of the cards directly on top of it. Then you can also apply some retaining shuffles to keep their card there on the bottom. At this point, once you have made it seem like you've lost their card in the middle of the deck, but in reality you have control of it here on the bottom, you're ready to introduce the rubber band, and make sure you don't accidentally flash the bottom card to your spectator, and if they see it's their selection there, they may get a little bit suspicious. So you're going to grab the rubber band, just keep it in between your thumb and index finger here, and while your spectator is looking at the rubber band, you're going to need to pull down on the bottommost card, which is their selection, with your pinky like this, getting this kind of natural break, creating this separation here, because you are going to tell your spectator you're placing all of the cards from the deck directly in the rubber band, but in reality, you're sliding the rubber band right in this gap, so you're placing all of the cards except their selection into the rubber band. So in slow motion, kind of the exposed view, this is what it looks like. Make sure you get all of the cards wrapped around it, and then you're keeping their selection separated from the rubber band there on the bottom. So that may take a little bit of practice to get down at first, but overall, you know, it's quite simple to do. You're kind of doing some misdirection. Your spectator's looking at it. You're pulling down, getting the break, and you're telling your spectator you're placing all the cards in the band, but in reality, you're excluding their card there from the bottom. You're inserting the band right there into that break, and then you've got this little separation. Keep the deck very square. Don't flash that their card is not attached to the rubber band. At this point, once your spectator truly thinks the band is wrapped around all the cards, you're going to lift up around half the deck. You're going to turn these cards face up. Then you're going to adjust your grip a little bit and then wrap these cards right there to the bottom, and keep this top packet square, because now you have got their selection loose from the rubber band right there in the middle of the deck. And then quickly, you're going to tell your spectator, okay, all I have to do is drop the deck right there on the table, and you'll see the card flies out, and you're going to want to place your hand here. Sometimes you may catch it, sometimes it'll just hit your hand and fall off. Either way, the card is going to shoot out from the deck, and you will show your spectator the one card that flew out from the pack was their selection. So guys, that's basically the trick. It's quite simple. Just get comfortable with doing the move there where you're wrapping the deck around, and then once you're in this position, you're going to cut half of the cards. You're turning them face up, wrapping them over right there to the bottom, like so. Keep the pack very square like this. All you're doing is dropping the deck right there on the table. Their card will fly out from the pack onto the table, and then you can show them that it is their selection. So guys, that's the trick. Let's get into the second one. All right, so I would start off this trick with my spectator giving the deck a shuffle. Once they are done, I would just have them choose a card. They can call stop anywhere as I dribble off cards from the deck into my hand. Let's say they call stop right here. In this case, their selection will be the 3 of diamonds. Now we're going to go ahead and get their card, the 3 of diamonds, just lost into the middle of the pack. We'll give the cards some cuts, and I will give the deck a quick riffle shuffle as well. At this point, I would explain to my spectator that I'm going to be dealing cards from the top of the deck, and I would tell them to call stop anywhere, and where they do, we would turn the next card face up, and then go ahead and check out and see where they called stop in the deck, and check out the card that is next to the one they called stop. So that's the process that we're going to follow. I'll give the pack a quick shuffle here before we do it. Now, we would go ahead and begin. So I would deal cards from the deck here, and like I said, my spectator can call stop anywhere. So let's say they call stop right here. I would tell them, okay, we're going to turn the next card face up, and we're going to spread to it and check out where they in fact called stop in the deck. So you can see here the card they stopped on was the Queen of Clubs, and there was one card that is directly face to face with the Queen of Clubs, and my spectator actually called stop right where their selection was the 3 of diamonds. So that is the trick. If you want to learn how to do it, make sure you watch the tutorial. Okay, so this is another easy trick to perform. You're going to start off with your spectator giving the deck a shuffle, and then they are going to choose a card. They have a free selection. When they take out their card, you can just have them look at it, or you can take a look at it with them together. It does not matter, but for the tutorial, we have the King of Diamonds. Now, you are going to need to control their card to the top of the deck, so you can perform any card control you want to get their selection right here to the top. And you can also then perform a riffle shuffle to tell your spectator you're losing their card into the pack, but in reality, you're keeping control of it on top of the deck. At this point, you're going to give your spectator a little demonstration as to what they're going to do in just a second. So as you're talking to them, you're going to tell them, okay, I'm going to deal off cards from the deck, and wherever you call stop, we're going to turn the next card face up. So let's say they would call stop here. You tell them, okay, so then we would turn this card face up, place the rest of the deck on top, and then we would spread to the card you called stop and see the card that's next to it. So this is still part of the demonstration here. You're then spreading to the card that you gave the little demonstration for. You're going to turn it over, and you will see here their selection is on the bottom of the deck because when you dealt the cards, as part of the demonstration, the first one you dealt down was their card, so it's now on the bottom. You can, at this point, do another riffle shuffle, keeping their card there on the bottom. So you're going to tell your spectator, all right, we're going to go ahead and do this. You're going to start dealing, and wherever your spectator calls stop, you are going to turn the next card face up. So let's say they call stop right here. You're going to turn this card face up and tell them, okay, we're going to go ahead and see where you called stop. Don't make much mention that you're placing this pack directly on top. You'll literally just casually do it. You'll see here you're placing their selection directly above the card they just called stop on. Literally just casually drop the cards on, square everything up, and tell them, all right, we're going to spread to that ace of spades, and you will see there's one card that is right above it, and you will tell them, okay, you could have called stop anywhere, but you actually called stop right where your selection was the King of Diamonds. It's just a really cool and easy effect that your spectator will definitely be impressed by, so I certainly recommend you add this one to your routine. So guys, that is the trick. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely give these 2 card tricks that I taught in this video a try. They will fool all of your spectators. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.